Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jordan from the Cincy Stripes podcast. I'm here with my good fellows and also co-host Colton Vinup, Gary Hill, and Eric McAllister. And we're going to go over a few things today that we have on episode 1. And this will be our last time recording over via phone. Next time we'll be in person, probably filming it, upload it to our YouTube. So if you guys want to go subscribe to that. And just to get started, we're going to go around. We're going to go from me to Colton to Gary to Eric about, just introducing themselves right back into the podcast. So, Colton, you want to get started with that?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? My name is Colton Vinup, 23, been a Bengals fan for my whole life. Haven't my favorite Bengal of all time. Let's just give our favorite Bengal of all time just for fun. Is probably surprisingly Leon Hall. I don't know why. I love watching him growing up.
Yeah, Leon Hall, man, I would say he's definitely one for us to say as a favorite growing up. I mean, that prime era, I would say of like '09 to I don't know what you want to say even now. Really of watching every single Bengals game. Kind of piggybacking off that, I would say my favorite Bengal just that I've seen to watch would have to be Vontaze Burfict. Just that intensity, man. I miss it. I kind of wish he was still on the team. But it is what it is. It's a new era, so that's who I'd have to go with. And this is Gary, by the way. We'll kind of be breaking that ice, being in person going forward, but being the first one on the phone, this will have to do. So,
I'm Eric. My favorite Bengal of all time is probably Geno Atkins. He was just dominant for so long for the Bengals.
I guess I didn't get to answer that first go around, so I'll just answer it with I have a few, but AJ Green kind of holds a place in my heart. Started watching football when I was around 10 or 11. He was kind of the first draft pick we took, and that's what I kind of grew up with.
Yeah, that's what really made me think about that was when you said that earlier, because we saw that he'll be Roar of the Jungle for week 2 for the home opener versus the Ravens. That's really what got my mind on that question and why it brought it to my head.
The original Raven killer.
Yeah, couldn't have really picked a better freaking captain for that game. I mean, honestly.
He's the Raven killer. Jamar is now the Raven killer, but there was AJ Green first.
You could slightly say Tyler Boyd.
Oh, so yeah. In their playoff hopes, and was it 2016?
Yeah, you could slightly say T Boyd.
Sent them packing.
I saw a stat today, like AJ averaged like 16 yards a catch against the Ravens or something like that. That's crazy.
That's insane, especially for a team that's always been defense first.
Right. Yeah. Especially like prides themselves on their defense.
Enough about the past. Let's get into what we got going on right now. A little bit of a preseason recap. We lost to the Green Bay Packers 36-19. Dax Hill had an amazing pass breakup down the way. That was pretty noticeable. Quarterback play in the preseason games are god awful. We still have Jake Browning on the team, and Trevor Simeon's gone, which he averaged almost nothing in each game.
And I heard he didn't even want to return to the practice squad for us.
Yeah, that's all right.
Which we'll get into it later. Well, obviously he's not anyways, but.
We did tie against Atlanta, 13-13. Joseph Osai had a great pass breakup, which led to an interception. That was awesome. Or actually, Mike Hilton had the pass breakup. I think Osai got the interception.
Yeah.
That game came down to the wire with Young Hoku kicking a game winner. He's my fantasy kicker. So
game tire.
He is my fantasy kicker. So hopefully he does some winners this year. Get me some points.
How much time did they even have to get on the field? Like I wasn't able to catch the end of the game. I saw that we scored late, and I thought we just won it. I didn't think they were going to come down and score on us.
I'm not too sure how much time was left, but get into the Washington game. We lost 21-19, really close game. Chase Brown had a really good game. That's about really it I can notice for all that game.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty much the biggest thing as far as kind of goes. I mean, Shedrick Jackson had a pretty decent game, but I mean, you can't really receiving wise. I mean, other than that,
he solidified his practice squad spot as a receiver for the practice squad.
Yeah, Yoshi had a touchdown. I mean,
Yoshi was preseason star. He was
him and his gritty.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Which kind of brings us to on Twitter at @the_NaderTot. He asked us, on our vote based on the preseason play and camp, who has the potential to break out this season. I'll answer first. We'll just go around the room from there. I feel like Yoshi had a really, really good preseason. But after that, I think Chase Brown could actually be a star for us in the future.
Yeah, my breakout player who I think, which it was going to be Osai, which I know was a common answer. Another one of my honorable mentions was Dax, but that's probably a common answer because he's now going to be a starter. But I'm going to go with Cam Sample. Osai being hurt, I think he'll be a good rotational piece in there for us this year, especially the big first 4 weeks. But I'm hoping to see him a lot more passing downs, but I'm pretty sure he's mainly a run down end. But I think he'll have a big year.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of sticking with more defense, at least me and kind of Colton there. I'm going to go with guys been on the team, but kind of getting, obviously we lost both our starting safeties, so I'm going to go with Tyson. I think that he kind of got to display some of his athleticism this preseason, obviously with the pick six and stuff like that, but I think he's going to kind of have to step up big if the Bengals really want to make that like Super Bowl winning push. I think that our DBs, especially the safeties, are going to have to step up, and I think he's going to be the one to step up the most.
Yeah, Tyson Anderson had that pick six against the Packers.
He had two picks that game.
Yeah.
I like that answer a lot, Gary.
My breakout player is going to have to be Dax Hill. It's that Green Bay game where he ran like all the way across the field basically to deflect the ball that could have easily been a touchdown. I think if the Bengals are going to want to compete and be really good, Dax Hill is going to have to play really good. So
yeah,
I think he's going to get to show off his skill set a lot this year and show the league what he can actually do now that he's a full-time starter instead of kind of last year he's only mainly playing on like third downs.
I would say like the Bengals in general, there's a lot of like opportunities there for especially the DBs. I mean, for young, athletic, like those guys are just kind of make a lot of plays.
Exactly.
On to the next topic. We'll just talk about some of the notable injury people that are kind of back. We got DJ Turner back in practice today, and we got Joe Burrow back, of course, which is kind of a big lift towards the team.
Who?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he made the initial 53. It's kind of a shocker. Didn't really put on it
by the hair of his chin.
Yeah, didn't really put on a display in the preseason, so I don't know why we kept him around. But
you guys like those memes that are going around on Twitter, like people jokingly saying that or X, whatever you want to call it?
It gets funny. Just you don't like to see too many of them.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I don't think it's. I think there's no way. I think he's back. I think he's good to go, and I don't think there's any like ill will or anything like that.
Yeah, I think people will look at your account and say block or mute.
Just mentioning Burrow real quick. I think people need to stop worrying about his contract. I think he's good to go for years and years and years. For us, I think he wants to stay here for a while with his boys, Jamar. Higgins. Higgins' contract's going to come soon, also, I believe.
Yeah, I think Burrow's contract gets done before the season starts, though.
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
I would love that, just so everybody can stop talking about it.
Yeah. I kind of get sick of hearing reporters ask, Zach Taylor these questions kind of every day.
It'd just be nice to get out of the way as well, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
So, there were some surprise cuts to me. I had 3 on my list. I know we had talked about it. Mine was Raymond Johnson. I think he had a really good preseason. And with Osai being hurt, I thought maybe we could have put him on the IR and maybe could have kept him on like for the 4-week IR. I don't remember exactly what it's called since he's probably going to be out 4 weeks anyway. Keep Raymond Johnson for those 4 weeks, and if anything, then move him to the practice squad. Now he got scooped up by the Lions, and now he's on their practice squad. Stanley Morgan, who we know is back with the practice squad now, but I thought maybe someone could have swooped him up, and it kind of scared me to see him gonna get cut. And then Hakeem Adeniji, who I thought, I don't know, it kind of surprised me. I didn't think maybe he would be cut this soon, but he's back on the practice squad anyway.
Yeah, I would have said Adeniji, not maybe because of like the talent, just because of like the depth we were trying to go for. I thought maybe we were going to try to use him for more of a battle. But if he wasn't performing, it makes sense. I mean, you know what I mean? No reason. He's been there a while, so they already know what they got.
He has the experience. That's why I thought somebody was going to swoop him up, just because he's still young. I believe he's 25, he has a lot. People can still teach him. I thought someone might have swooped him up, but nope.
Eric?
I think Allen George for me. I mean, the guy's like mostly a nickel corner. I don't know who else is going to play nickel if they need him.
Jalen Davis is nickel, isn't he?
Oh,
Or no?
yeah, I think Jalen Davis is a nickel.
Because I think they like Jalen Davis, and he looked pretty good in the preseason. That's the only reason I wasn't that surprised by it. I thought he also could have not maybe returned because he has some experience as well playing with us the last couple of years.
And we've only running two linebackers.
Yeah.
Usually, like a box set. So I mean, the more DBs, the better.
Getting into my surprise cuts. Going to be honest, I think Jeff Gunter is kind of a surprise cut considering we don't know the severity of Osai yet. I think he'll be all right. Same along with Raymond Johnson. Raymond Johnson put on quite a showing in the preseason and in camp. He did pretty good in my opinion. And also wide receiver Mac Hippenhammer, mostly because he has a really cool name.
That is
The only reason I think maybe Jeff Gunther or Raymond Johnson, they didn't bring Raymond Johnson back is maybe they have a lot more belief in Jeff Gunther or something.
Yeah, I mean, Raymond Johnson's what, 23, 24? Like, he's not old.
No, he's really young. Same as like Gunter. I mean, he's pretty young too. I mean, we got him back on the practice squad anyways, which is pretty good. So.
Yeah, which I mean, Raymond got picked up, didn't he?
Yeah, Raymond.
Yeah, he went to the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
practice
picked up by
squad.
somebody.
Which he probably has an easier path to playing on the 53 man this year with the Lions compared to our depth that we do have at defensive end.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say this year is definitely one of the most loaded the Bengals roster has been.
Oh, so that safety room and cornerback room and everything.
Just maybe not as top heavy. Obviously, you lost Bates and Bell, but just as far as from top to bottom, it's solid as from 2015.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he looked at the room and he saw, like you said, and he saw how deep we are, and he probably looked at the Lions room. He said, hey, I think I can actually probably get a spot on their roster, their 53 man, in the next couple of weeks or maybe at some point this year, and he can take advantage of that.
Next, we're just going to kind of dive into our record predictions that we have in each other. I have us going 14-3 this year. Our only losses come against the 49ers in Week 8. Week 11 against Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, Baltimore, in Baltimore. And then Week 17 against Kansas City. I think, it's always comes down to a field goal with us against KC. So it's probably going to be another tough matchup like that.
Yeah, I have us going 13-4. I have us losing Week 2 to Baltimore. Probably on a walk-off Justin Tucker field goal, sadly at home. I hope not because I don't want to lose the home opener. But I think we're going to lose either that one or the home opener or the season opener versus the Browns. One of those two. So it could flip-flop. I think we lose versus the Niners, like you said. I have us losing at Ravens on Thursday Night Football. And then I have us losing at the Chiefs. And then going 13-4.
Yeah, man, it's hard because for you look at the schedule and you would think Bengals could win every game or should win every game.
Yes.
But realistically, you got to. I mean, the Browns play us tough. I think we sadly dropped Week 1. I think we dropped that Niners game, and then I don't want to pick us. I don't want to pick the Chiefs to beat us.
Me either.
But I do think that. I mean, obviously they got us the last time, but it's kind of like we've had their number in the regular season so much. I think that they might get us this time,
and then hopefully
that gives us the playback for the playoffs.
Exactly.
And then I could see us dropping one to the Steelers. I got us at 13-4 for my final prediction.
I got the Bengals at 13-4. I have them dropping Week 1 to the Browns. I just think the Browns, they always have Cincy's number. It seems like. Then I have
the Burrow era.
Especially in the Burrow era. And then I have Week 8 losing to the Niners. They're just good. I have us losing Week 11 to the Ravens. I think the Ravens are bound to split it. And then I have us losing to the Jaguars week 13. I think the Jags are a really good team.
On Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football
in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville. I just think the Jaguars could pull it off. They have a really good team this year.
Doug Pearson's a good coach.
I think that that's kind of like a very similar game to when we played them on Thursday Night Football. Like we were a young and hot team. Like they're kind of in those shoes now.
The Uzama game.
Yeah.
2 tutties.
Kind of. Yeah. To where it's kind of like could be their catapult game. I like that though, Eric. That's a good pick. I think we beat them, but you know.
Well, I think we're wearing the all whites that game too.
Yeah, it's I think all whites versus all blacks.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to lose in the all whites.
No, definitely not. Does anyone have any Bengals winning MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year? My MVP is Mahomes this year. I think he's going to have another fantastic year, but I'd love to see Burrow get it. But it seems like some voters don't really enjoy him all that much, if I had to be honest, the way it seems last year with the voting.
I think if he can eliminate that like one really, really bad game,
that
would help him. I mean, like you can't have you just can't have a perfect game. I think Jamar Chase should definitely be a top 2 favorite for Offensive Player of the Year, though. I think he's going to remind people that he was the number 1 at LSU, not his teammate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Burrow gets MVP this year. I think Jalen Hurts gets it this year with the roster he has built around him in that line. But I do think Jamar does get the Offensive Player of the Year this year. I think him and Burrow are fully healthy all year. He doesn't miss the 5 or 6 games like he did last year. And he has the most receiving yards in the league. And he wins the Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
I think Mahomes has MVP on lock. That dude's he's unreal.
I want to say that, but then I look at his weapons this year, and I know it's Mahomes. He's going to make him look good. But
looked at his weapons last year. I said the same thing last year. So look at his weapons. Yeah. He doesn't have anything.
That's what I'm saying. He's still going to do good, but I think maybe this year it's not as good as last year because he at least had a bigger name. Like this year, his bigger name besides Kelsey, his big name receivers like Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore.
I mean, yeah, but I mean they said that about Brady when they had he had Edelman and them, but then he made them. He didn't make them, but they eventually became great. Like, Kadarius Toney, I don't think he's, Tyreek Hill, but you don't really have to be. Andy Reid puts you in positions to where you just got to make the play.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see.
Eric, you got any more award winners for the Bengals?
I could see Chase getting Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that one I could definitely see.
I could also see Taylor winning Coach of the Year.
I could dark horse. I like that.
I wouldn't say it's a dark horse though.
I mean, just because it's the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals do not get a lot of love in the All-Pro voting, Top 100 voting, anything that's voted in. Bengals do not receive love. Hall of Fame. If you want to go into how deep you want to get into the NFL semantics of voting.
Do you guys know?
Probably McVay.
Because, I mean, realistically, Zach Taylor should have won that year.
Which year?
When we went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I think he should have won, but I'm pretty sure it was Dayball won it that year. Or did Dayball win it last year?
It might have been Dayball.
Or did he win it last year?
I thought he won it last year.
Pretty sure it was Vrabel.
Oh yeah,
it was Mike.
He definitely should not have won that.
Yeah, because I remember when we had a pretty big uproar on Twitter about that one.
Yeah,
they beat him.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand why he won it. I mean, he took the Titans. I mean, they had a ton of injuries that year.
I get it,
but then again, at the same time, Zach Taylor also took a team that wasn't good a year before, and then went to the Super Bowl.
Shout out to Theo Ash having us at 12-15 that year. Got to make a little remark to that one.
Oh, can we also give a shout out to Keyshawn? I think today.
Oh, Keyshawn Johnson.
Yep.
That dude's always been a clown. I'll never respect that guy.
He said that we haven't won Burrow hasn't won the division yet.
Really?
The two times.
He said that. He said Burrow hasn't won the division yet.
So who won TV? Who won it last year and the year before that?
They didn't even correct him either. I was like, dude.
We're gonna three-peat, so it's always
it's cool. It's cool. We'll stay that.
I was like, no wonder people were saying X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That no wonder you got like fired from ESPN because he's on FS1 now with them.
Before we get into our breakout players, we're gonna jump into the Ring of Honor inductees this year. You know, Boomer Esiason, definitely a great pick.
Show them a little
Yeah.
love. I'm gonna go ahead and look up their like career stats with the Bengals. You can keep talking.
Well, without the Bengals, Boomer has one of the most passing yard games in a career with Cardinals. He had like over 500. And, you know, the second inductees, you know, Chad Ochocinco.
I mean, Boomer also won an MVP.
The McDonald's lover himself.
Yeah, Boomer won MVP with us, took us to a Super Bowl in '88.
Like, I don't think any other Bengals won MVP, right?
Not off the top of my head.
I'll
Ken Anderson. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Boomer for the Bengals had 27,149 passing yards, 187 touchdowns, 131 picks.
Bengals have 2 MVP winners, Ken Anderson 81, Boomer Esiason 88.
And that's in 123 career starts for us. He went. That's crazy.
Hopefully Burrow's the third.
He'll get there. Maybe. Hopefully. He definitely has it. It's just, you know, sometimes these voters can be
then one of our idols growing up, Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Chad Johnson Ochocinco. Let's look at his stats. You guys think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. If there's a lot of people
numbers are right there.
Yeah.
751 receptions for 10,783 yards. 66 touchdowns. That's the only problem is his touchdowns number is so low. But he changed the game. Like he was the face of that, like that decade. Like not the only face, obviously, but one of the faces. And changed the celebrations. Like
it's like the played on really bad teams.
Horrible teams.
Like he probably he had Carson obviously, but
6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro.
Yeah. I mean, but Hall of Fame says they don't go off the field issues, but I mean, it took T.O. quite a bit to get in, and he should have been first ballot.
Yeah, but he's top 3 in every receiving stat.
Yeah.
How is that dude not a first ballot?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all like that though. I mean, we know that's why. I mean, wait till AB's trying to get in. You know,
AB is going to be a lock, I think.
Well, we say that now, but I mean, with all the stuff that's going on, I mean,
T.O. had better numbers than AB.
And I think T.O. was maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was definitely like noticeably like a noticeable time. He made a big deal about it because I remember he didn't go to the ceremony.
Yeah, don't blame him. Really don't. He should have been first ballot. You know, unanimous. Honestly, he was that guy. He played in a Super Bowl with a torn ACL. He went out and balled, put everything on the line.
Yeah, one of the greatest to never win a ring for sure.
Oh yeah, 2010 Bengal T.O. He got like 600 yards with us that year before he broke his hand.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. My first Bengals game ever was that 2010 Bills game where Bills made a comeback, and I got to see T.O. and Ochocinco play before the Dalton and Green era.
Yeah, I mean, what a fun segue, right? I mean, Bengals obviously sucked, but Chad and T.O. for a year, and then.
That's why I'm just glad we've had those good eras of wide receivers in Bengals. Like we've always had, it seems like one dog receiver at a time. The last at least like I don't know however long.
At least the last 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even like our number 2s were dogs. I mean, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, dog.
Marvin Jones.
Dude, you look at our 2015 year. Ew. Jones, Sanu, and Green.
Boyd.
Was Boyd on that team?
15.
Was Boyd the 4 on that team?
Yeah, I think he got drafted in 17.
Oh, I'm way off then.
And we got T. Higgins. I mean, right now, T and Jamar. I mean, they're unbelievable.
2016 is when we got Boyd.
Speaking of Keyshawn Johnson, he's cousins with Chad.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his Pro Football Reference bio, and it says relatives, cousins, Keyshawn Johnson. I was like, oh.
I tell you, you better get your cousin, man.
Would you
Yeah.
guys have voted for anybody other than those two?
Yeah, who
Ah.
did you? So you and Eric are
Yeah,
season
'cause
ticket
you guys-
members. Who did you guys vote for?
I
Or do you guys
vote.
want to keep it disclosed?
No, I mean we'll come out and say it. I'm comfortable saying I voted for.
I mean, you're happy for whoever got in, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that.
Oh, for sure. I know I voted for Boomer. I don't see. I'm trying to remember who I did vote for. I know I voted for Boomer. I don't think I voted for Ochocinco. I'm pretty sure I voted for an older guy because.
Yeah, because I think you were part of the group that was saying like you wanted to go ahead and get the older group in, because you know Chad's going to get in the next couple years.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they just wanted to get him in now to get like so he can go ahead and start speaking on it.
Then he's like the face of like the EA, like the Madden ratings and stuff, and he like comes all the time. It's just
Eric, do you remember who you voted for?
I do. I mean, I'm happy Boomer and Chad got in. Because, I mean, those guys were getting in no matter what.
exactly.
I voted for some of the older guys.
And so are like a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like, a Ken Riley situation to where, he passed, like, someone would pass away.
Yeah.
And they're not able to see themselves get into the hall or get into,
He
like,
actually
any
got
ring of honor.
NFL.
I voted for Max Montoya because he was just one of the best guards around at that time. That guy was
Showing respect to the lineman.
amazing. And
Yeah.
I voted for – I don't think many people really talk about this guy, really know this guy. But my bad. Tim Kumrai.
Cumry or
Kumrai, a nose tackle for the Bengals, played. He played for a while.
I don't know how to say it, but I know who you're talking about.
I think he played for like the 80s, like 94 or something like that. I mean, he led the team with the tackles a ton of times. I know in 1992 he led the team in tackles. As a nose tackle, you don't really do that.
Yeah, he played for the Bengals from 1983 to 1994.
94. Okay, yeah. So I mean,
11 years as a Bengal.
Yeah, but the guy played. The guy was crazy.
Two-time All-Pro. He had Defensive Player of the Year votes in 1988, 7 of them.
I mean, I know he played in the 90s.
He made an All-Pro too.
Yeah, I know he played in the 90s where the Bengals weren't that good, but still he led the team in tackles. And 92 as a nose tackle, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't really hear about that.
I always feel bad for like star players that are on bad teams, like because then it's always like, well, yeah, they put up great numbers, but they were on bad teams. But it's like football is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 188 games, he had 1,008 solo tackles as a D tackle.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Like,
so respect to you.
I'm guessing Aaron Donald probably has more, but I'm curious for like a comparison.
All right. As we dived into a little bit of a history right there. Let's kind of get into back on track to this season. Get on to our breakout players. I actually surprisingly have a tight end, Irv Smith Jr. I think he's super fast, athletic. I think he fits this offense perfectly for what we're going to do this year. And I just feel like he's down for making this team a whole lot better and having a pretty big year compared to his, years past with injuries and, on the Vikings. So,
all right, so I'm going to do one on offense and I'm going to do one on defense. If you want to give one, who did you say? You said Irv Smith. Do you want to give one on defense, or I can give you time, Jordan?
No, it's cool. Just you can go through it.
So my my offensive one is going to be Travion Williams, who we did not get to see a lot of, obviously, or really any of in preseason. But I think that with them believing enough in his abilities, even with the injury, I think that he'll be a good pass blocker, and so that his receiving ability out of the backfield, I think we'll also see a lot more of that this year, and I think he'll kind of be – I know it's not like a breakout crazy, but I think he'll break out and like he'll kind of prove his name more this year to us Bengals fans. And then on defense – actually, I'll let Gary go because I got to think more on my defensive guy.
All right. I've got kind of two on defense. I've got a guy who I hope steps up and gets playing time, and a guy that I'm rooting for as like a rookie. That's Jordan Battle. I don't know if he will get a crazy amount of reps. I hope that in his reps he shows out. I think he's a freak athlete. He's got crazy size and speed. That's just kind of more of like my hopeful that I hope that he does good. But who I really think on defense that's going to take like another big step is just Asai. I think he could really be like an 8.5 to an 11.5 sack guy this year. I just think he's going to take that next little step up, and he's going to get a lot more playing time, I think, too.
I'm just hoping this injury doesn't set him back at all.
Yeah.
I think on offense, I'm going to agree with Jordan. I think Irv Smith Jr. is going to have a really good year, especially with Burrow. On defense, I'm going to take Cam Taylor-Britt.
I like it.
I think he's due for a really good year now that he's going to be a full-time starter.
I think I'm going to buy his jersey this year. And I also thought of who my defensive player, breakout player, I think who's going to be. I think it's going to be Zach Carter. I think we saw some good stuff from him in the preseason as well, and I think he's going to be a good rotational guy in the regular season.
He's looking good in camp too.
Exactly. I think he will get a couple. I think he'll get like 6, 7, 8 sacks this year and surprise us and kind of get a bigger role in the coming years.
Yeah,
with DJ Reader, actually, now that I think about a contract year too, sadly.
I forgot who said it on Twitter or X or whatever it is, but they compared his pass rush rate to last year to this preseason. I think he had like a 4 to 6% last year. I think this year it was like 17, 18%. So I think that's a pretty good call.
Huge leaps right there.
I think we see a lot of big steps from like the second, third year guys that we've been wanting to see. Like I brought up earlier, Cam Sample to Zach Carter. We were kind of seeing it at the end of the year in the playoffs last year. Like Cam Sample and Osai was playing huge last year in the playoffs.
In the NFL, like the jump from year 2 to year 3 is like the biggest. Like that's when they that's when they can really evaluate you. Like if you're going to take like the next step, or if you're kind of just going to be that player that you've always been.
I thought about it. My defensive player breakout this year's second-year safety, Dax Hill. I think he can provide a lot of speed. Not completely take over Jesse Bates's, ball hawking skills, but I think he does have the ball hawking ability to get to the ball, swat it, pick it. He's a very quick guy. I think he can do a lot of good things for us in that backfield.
Yeah, I like that pick.
And I think us as fans need to realize with the new secondary, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. But I think there's going to be a lot more ups, like a lot better ups than I think there are a lot more downs. But I don't want people to be dwelling bad when they make one bad play or something. Because Lou's going to get on top of them.
Especially with, we have rookie corner DJ Turner. Mike Hilton, he didn't have the best game in the AFC Championship game, but I think he can bounce back off of that. Wouzier's coming off of ACL tear. So we got to see how he performs and how he gets back. So there's just really a lot of I wouldn't say question marks for our secondary, but it's really on how they perform and how Lou kind of disguises his defense this year.
Yeah, we're going to be leaning on that front seven.
Oh, for sure.
Who I also was very impressed with this year, who I thought, like, after we drafted him, I thought was, like, maybe he's going to be a practice squatter this year, DJ Ivey. I think that man – obviously, he's not going to probably get much playing time this year, but him to earn that spot and not be a practice squad over like a veteran like Sidney Jones, who I know he had like hamstring issues or some sort of injury. But to earn that spot, I think that was kind of huge for him.
I think he earned it. He played pretty good in that preseason.
Yeah, I think
had a good camp too.
He was a 7th rounder near the end of. Like they were planning on just bringing him in as an undrafted free agent. I heard as well. But they wanted to go ahead and draft him.
He just seems like a guy who probably also like puts a lot of pressure on the guys in front of him on the roster, like at practice. You know what I mean? Like a guy like that behind you, like
he pushes
coming to take your spot.
Yeah, that's what I like about our cornerback room, like our DB room. Is there a lot of younger guys? Obviously, Mike and Awuzie are kind of older, but a lot of younger guys that are pushing each other, and even Mike and Awuzie are still pushing each other and wanting to do better every day. So,
we should have gotten into it earlier, but talk about some of our free agent acquisitions, like left tackle Orlando Brown, who I feel like he can be, the guy to get this franchise to the next level, and get Jonah Williams over the right side, and I feel like Jonah Williams can be our franchise right tackle if he, learns.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
I think you're 100% right, dude. Yeah, if he buys into that right tackle, he's definitely talented enough.
Or do you think he still just goes somewhere next year and wants to play left?
I think he might test out the market but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he came back.
That would be so nice because I think I like what we've seen from Jonah at right tackle, and I think the coaches have too.
Eric's a big offensive line guy. What's your thoughts on this?
It's definitely great getting Orlando Brown, in Cincy. That's huge.
4-year deal.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I like Jonah. He's an okay pass blocker. I don't think he's that good of a run blocker at left tackle. I just think he looks. I don't know. He might be more natural at right tackle. I think it's gonna. I mean, we're gonna have to see, but I could see him having a pretty good year at right tackle and testing the market. If someone's gonna pay him to be their left tackle, I think he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
But who knows? If they have a really good year, and if some really bad teams offer him to play left tackle, if he cares about winning, he'll stay.
Exactly. I wish we had a GoPro reaction of me and Jordan when Jordan told me that we signed Orlando Brown, or I told him. I don't remember who told who.
I'm pretty sure you told me.
And you were like, "No way!" And I was like,
me and you were
yeah,
both.
bro.
Me and you were both just sitting
Sitting at
chilling
the dining room table.
Yeah, chilling at your house, and then you said, "Dude, we just got Orlando Brown Jr." And I couldn't believe it. It was like 10:30 at night or something.
Yeah,
like
me
that.
and
It
you
was
were like
super
screaming
late.
throughout the house, and like my family's just looking at us like we're crazy. Like we just, I don't even know, won the lottery.
Well, I mean, the last 2 years, what have we really, really needed? We really needed a left tackle.
And it was just out of nowhere. Like we never really expected that. Like Bengals are really good at keeping their stuff under the wraps, and we just never really saw that coming at all.
What's awesome too is he was on a podcast the other day with, I'm pretty sure it was with James Rapien, and he was talking about how the Jets offered him more money and how he could have went to the Jets, but he chose Cincy, which is, that's a great feeling when someone chooses you over money, especially in a sport like this where you can play one game and it's completely over and your financial situation's messed up. But that shows a lot of what the culture Zach's building here. And Orlando Brown's really bought into Cincy. He actually loves the city now. He loves the Reds. He says he's a lifetime Reds fan from now on. He said he's loving it.
Yeah, I think that kind of what you were saying, Colton, that the Bengals like to keep everything kind of like in-house. I think that kind of leads to the people that we brought in. I mean, like Joe Burrow, he's not very big out in social media. Orlando Brown Jr. is a big personality, but he's like very, private. Jamar, he's a big personality, but private. I think that's just kind of how the Bengals are going. They're looking for professionals to perform. And I think he fits right in that bill.
And we got the perfect coaching staff for these players too. I mean, I can't shout out this coaching staff enough for getting these players ready.
Oh yeah. I think this sadly might be our last year with Lou as DC.
I mean, unfortunately, but he's way too good of a coach to continue, being a defense coordinator.
He's also just super smart for not taking that Cardinals job.
He's a leader of men, truthfully, and I think he can lead a team.
I think there's going to be a good job for him coming in.
Hopefully, I mean, I am super glad he didn't take that Cardinals job because that's a
dumpster fire right now.
It really is.
They literally cut everybody, and they only had Dobbs as quarterback.
Praying for Jonathan Gannon, he can get that stuff turned around over there. But
he knows exactly what they're doing.
But I just don't really believe in that. But Lou's going to get a job.
It's hard to rebuild when you don't trust your quarterback.
I'm just trying to think of a team who would fire their head coach. But you say that almost every year. But I'm just trying to think of a team.
As of right now,
maybe McVay leaves the Rams. But
McCarthy will get fired if they don't do good.
Because I'm just trying to think, I'm looking at our schedule right now. None of these teams.
I'm gonna tell you right now, two coaches who are going to be on the hot seat by mid-season, and it might be a hot take by saying this, but Kevin Stefanski and Brandon Staley.
No, I think coaches who should be. Yeah,
I think those two right there should be on the hot seat. Stefanski hasn't gotten a primed playoff Super Bowl contending roster ready in the years he's been there. He hasn't been able to do anything. And Brandon Staley, I mean, you're up 24-0 in the playoffs. You got to run the ball, man.
How do you lose that game? How do you lose that game?
Poor coaching.
You don't run the ball.
Poor coaching lost that game. I won't blame a Chargers player. I'll blame the entire coaching staff for that.
You can't even lose that shit on Madden.
You got to just run the
Yeah.
ball. You just got to run the ball.
Got to kill clock.
Yeah. You're not killing clock, incomplete pass.
If
Maybe
you guys
one
are,
complete pass for 4 yards.
if you guys ever play Eric in Madden, you know he knows how to kill clock.
Best. I'm so good at that. I own time of possession in Madden.
He really does too. It's kind of irritating, but
You will not
I mean
be.
that's how you win. I mean, use time of possessions is one of these key factors. That's
Well, as
just
long as you
how
can
win
score.
games. Oh,
I mean, you
well,
could have all the
obviously.
time of possession, and you can turn the ball over every time you get to the 1 yard line.
Well, Colton, if you're up 24-0, I hope you scored.
Well, yeah, but you were the hypothetical you were saying.
I said it's one of the key factors to winning.
Yes,
Turnover battle, points on the board.
I think our defense is going to be super fun and energetic to watch this year.
Our defense is so young. I think they're going to be. I think Jordan Battle, in the years and years to come, I think he's going to be, a guy.
Yeah, I think there's somebody we really need to be talking about that we haven't talked about at all.
I mean, there's so many people on
Cam
this
Taylor
roster.
No, it's our first round draft pick who
Miles
hasn't really
Murphy.
shown us anything, and he now with their
Yeah.
site out, I think he's going to have a lot more playing time.
I
Should have
think-
thought it would only be back till week 2 though.
I think
he
he's
won't. He won't probably be back for Baltimore. He's probably gonna be out. They said he's pretty much already out for Baltimore too.
I think
Yeah, I said
Miles
until after
Murphy's a
week 2.
slow developer.
What'd you say,
Yeah.
Jordan?
Miles Murphy's a slow developer, but when he develops, I think he'll be a pretty good pass rusher.
Yeah, I just think he's just raw. He's not there as a
And
pass rusher.
I'm pretty sure
yet.
they said that, and they knew that. That's why
He's
he
a
was.
project.
That's why he kind of fell.
Yeah, that's
Because
exactly
he was
why
originally at
fell.
the beginning of the year, he was projected like top 15, top 20, and then something happened. Like, obviously, I don't really watch college football that much, so I don't really
He's
know what
big.
happened. But he fell.
I mean, I heard
He's
he,
a big guy.
I heard he
Like,
was
he's a big dude.
he's okay in the run. He handles himself well in the run, but he's just not there in the pass rush department yet. It's going to take, I'd say like 2-3 years to really start picking it up.
What do you think his ceiling is? Like a Hubbard-esque?
Ceiling's hard to say.
Is he more of a
Ceiling-
pass rusher or?
He's
run
more of a
stopper?
Hubbard, I would say. He's really
what- yeah.
good, but I read somewhere that he said that the preseason was a humbling moment for him when he wasn't out there like he was in college, just winning all these reps. And like I said, I think it's going to take a couple of years for him to get ready, but he has the tools. But he has really good guys to learn from with Sam Hubbard, Hendrickson. He's got good coaches. I think they'll get him ready.
Yeah, he doesn't really have to come out and be a 10-sack guy.
Yeah,
He
and
just-
that's why they
no.
brought him in. They just need more rotational guys because guys like Trey, you can't be out there every play with how much good they want as much breathers for them to be able to rush Patty
Yeah,
and
you
rush
gotta-
Josh Allen.
You got to keep
Yeah,
him
we need him in
fresh.
the 4th.
Yeah, so because you would see Trey Hendrickson last year in the playoffs. Obviously, you're going to see him probably this year too, but maybe not as much. He was struggling for breath, and that's when we need him the most. And we're like,
Yeah,
need
he
Trey
was
out
laying
there
his
right
body
now.
out though in that game.
He's
Yeah,
not going to be
exactly.
an explosive pass rusher, like a Nick Bosa or anything, but I think he's going to do well enough to get to the quarterback, and I think he's a hard worker too. That's why another reason why we've been drafting so well is because we draft hard workers and guys who want to play football. Truly
draft
love the
players.
game.
I see Murphy getting roughly 5 sacks this year. Just being a good rotational guy, doing his job.
Some of the Bengals struggled with last year, though, just getting sacks. We got a lot of pressures. We just couldn't get sacked.
But Murphy's only 21 now. I mean, he has time to get better and develop.
That's crazy how he's 2 years younger than us.
No, it is.
That's crazy.
And I'm good with the Murphy pick. I was really hoping Michael Mayer, but I'm definitely good with the Murphy pick. And I was, looking at watching Hard Knocks these last couple of weeks, I really wish we got Will McDonald. That guy's a freaking stud passer. I think he's going to be like.
wasn't he like the guy? I think he wasn't he surprise picked early. I don't think I was like.
Yeah, he was taken a
really-
lot earlier than people thought he was going to be taken.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But he's looked good in camp. I didn't really watch Hard Knocks much.
Yeah, he was the 15th pick in the draft. He's a raw pass rusher, but he's explosive, super explosive.
He produced in college, though. That's why you draft guys that produce well in college. I want to say McDonald produced pretty well. Murphy didn't really produce too well.
He was on a good D line. Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't his team pretty good? Like their D line.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm pretty sure Clemson blitzes a lot too. Like I don't really watch that much college football, but I feel like every time I watch Clemson, they were blitzing.
Yeah, but the production wasn't there. But I think, like I said, just give him some time.
So you guys would definitely take Will McDonald over Murphy.
I mean, he was
neither
he
of
was
them have
taking.
played a game yet.
I know he
So,
was
Yeah,
taking
none of them played
15th,
games
but
yet.
I know he wasn't supposed to go around that, so I didn't know what range he was actually supposed to go.
If I was drafting and I had the choice and they were both there, I would take Will McDonald. But I mean, like I said, it's just
he wasn't going to be there at 31.
like I said, I'm
30,
more than
sorry.
happy with Miles Murphy. I feel like Miles Murphy can be a guy. I mean, he's 6'6", 275. He can run a 4.4, which is pretty impressive.
He's
That's
athletic.
insane, dude.
He did wear number 98 in college, which makes me wonder if this is DJ Reader's last year, does Murphy switch back?
Probably.
Oh man, I don't want to see him leave.
I think you should stick with 99. I think that's just it's a beautiful defensive lineman number.
Yeah. You got great people wearing 99.
I could see him staying though for like a 1 or 2 year deal. Like just seeing his stuff recently. Like I just saw like an interview with him or something posted recently, and I was like, I don't want to lose him.
DJ Reader.
Yeah,
I hope they're able to keep him. You see when he's not on the
he
field.
said he loves it here.
Yeah, but you see when
Obviously,
he's
you're
not
gonna
on the
say that,
field,
but-
though. The D line isn't that good when he's not on the field. He's
No, that's
He's
why
a
I think
force
Zach
out there.
Carter also needs to take a big step.
he definitely does.
But
That or
DJ Reader, he's a Bengal guy. You know what I mean? You look at a
Yeah.
player and you're like, he's a Bengal.
He
He's going to
loves
be a Bengal.
He loves this team. He loves the culture, the locker room. I think he would sign for, like, he knows what's going on here. I think he would take not like a cheap deal, but friendlier deal for us. Like, you get just all your money is your signing bonus right there. Like, everything kind of is.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here in a second. We'll go off with some closing remarks and shout-outs. I'd like to give a shout-out to Jungle Streetwear on Instagram. Go check out his website. He produces great Bengal merch. I have about 10 of his shirts, a hat of his, a couple hoodies. He makes excellent Bengals stuff, so go check him out. That's Jungle Streetwear.
I'll give a shout-out to James Rapine and Jake Lisco and the Locked On Bengals crew. I give them a listen about every day. So besides just my knowledge, I also get to learn from them and some of the people they learn from. So give a shout out to them.
I'll just give a shout out to Bengals Gym. Always, one for the fans. Always putting on big tailgates. I'm just ready for the season and excited for this year.
The absolute GOAT, Bengal Jim. That guy cannot be thanked enough. He is awesome.
I'd like to give a shout out to Parker Blake, real big O-line guy on X. That dude's great. He tells you everything.
He does a lot of film kind of breakdown too,
he does,
as well, doesn't he?
He does a ton of film. I mean, he does a lot of Bengals guys, which is what I love.
And huge congratulations to him too, because he just got put on Chatterbox Sports, which is good work for him. I'm glad he's getting
great.
recognition and stuff like that. That's awesome for him. All right, guys. Next time you hear from us, hopefully you're seeing us when we film, and we release it on YouTube and a couple other platforms, and we'll always release the audio on Spotify and Apple, and hopefully we can get this thing going and growing. Give one last hooday around the table. Hooday.
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 Until next time, hooday.